I have a little sign in my home office and city council office and just about any other work environment says, be humble, work hard. I try to live by that.
So we kind of decided that after showing some mild interest, we thought it would be better off, because of our age at that time, not to follow through with the adoption. But we also said if God drops the kid on our doorstep, we're not going to turn our backs on him.
And I was at that age where I started to realize that families were looking, thinking to themselves, this is what I want. And I started crying, and I remember a caretaker came to me and asked me, what's wrong? And I told her, I want a family.
And then we got that phone call from the adoption agency in Seattle.
We had people writing letters for us to the Bulgarian embassy because they were putting up roadblocks about getting children out from this former communist country. So they took, they said, oh, no more children. So we had a little fuss getting them out of there, but we finally did.
So he finally arrived 30 hours late at the airport here in Seattle. And the director of the orphanage came along with him and with a friend.
Who translated for her.
Sylvia used to teach with me in the building where I taught in Sumner. She had him placed in my classroom that first year in 3rd grade. After he left our building, he would come back and want to visit with me and come and help in my classroom whenever he had a vacation day, and so I got to know him really well over the years.
So one of the things I think where you can see his values keep moving forward into his career is that he had an interest in community programs.
He began to take his academic affairs more seriously, I think.
And showed more interest in politics.
And that became his favorite thing, the politics. And he was even in high school. He was invited by some of the high school teachers to come to their class to talk about things like voting and running for office and the art of pounding signs into the ground for campaign purposes.
Thanks to now Senator Mark Milosha, he taught me a lot of what needs to be done. And I just thought the whole process was very fascinating to me. In college, I ran for student government and made impacts there, and to the best of my abilities, and at home. Got on a Parks Commission and really just kind of listened a lot, and would come to meetings and just listen and not talk. And then I realized that our people with disabilities are not being heard when it comes to building parks. And ever since that moment, my vision has always been being inclusive with our parks. That got me interested in city politics, and to my surprise, I ran for city council.
He knew how to run a campaign. He had run quite a few campaigns for other politicians, so he was out knocking on doors and doing everything you could think of, raising money, putting up signs. He worked hard, and we get the call that, by golly, he'd won the primary, by golly, he'd won the election.
One of the things that always tickles me about Martin is he always says, the great city of Federal Way. Even when you call him, his message on the recorder is the great city of Federal Way, and I think he truly believes that. But he also works very hard to make it be a great city. He's very interested in all the things that go on in this city, and believe me, there's a mountain of things that go on all the time.
Martin is dedicated to the citizens of Federal Way, dedicated to the youth programs, dedicated to seeing our community grow and protecting historical assets that our city has to offer.
Everything that has relevance to the citizens has relevance to Martin.
Knowing him personally, I've seen him firsthand walk the walk as well as talk the talk. He's grounded, he's approachable, and he's community oriented. He always has time to stop and talk to you no matter where you are, and however much time he can provide. He is family oriented.
Everything he does in his personal life or professional life is with the intent of making someone else's life better or easier.
Keeping a balance of, the people of the city and then the city government, which are, two different things.
He really does not just wanting to help, but he wants to be seen as somebody who is in the middle of it, not just involved from the outside, but getting in there and involved in whether it's city beautification projects. So we talk about, there he is out painting a fence, or watching him help clean up or help deal with problems that we have in the neighborhoods.
We had a need, and he reached out to us and got actively engaged, and I think that was excellent service on behalf of the citizens of Federal Way. His engagement and his active engagement.
He works for an organization called ARC in King County, which really works as an advocate agency for the disabled, and does a phenomenal job, and that's really a passion of his and has been for years.
In the time that I've known Martin, he has the vision for the city of Federal Way. He has the leadership to get things done.
He's a confident leader.
He's got a kind heart.
He's approachable.
Enthusiastic, diligent.
He's come a long way, and 20-some years in America, and look what he's done.
And with your help, we can make our community a better place, a stronger city, and I very much am excited, so excited, to have the opportunity to talk about the many difficult issues that lie ahead of us. I know that some issues will be easy to talk about, some will be hard to talk about, but I'm excited to meet people at their doorsteps. I'm excited to answer people's emails, texts, calls. I'm excited about the campaign and getting back on the streets and getting reelected so I can continue doing the work that needs to be done.